Welcome to Access Zen with Gregory Foster. Our program will help you set a more perfect balance between your inner world and the outside world. And now, here's your host, Gregory Foster.
And hello, everyone. This is Gregory Foster, your host, and you're listening to Access Zen Radio here on KKZZ. Want to give a quick shout out to Dave Cohen for his wonderful show last week, The Art of a Zen Business. Thanks again, Dave. That was beautiful. So on today's show, we have singer and world music artist Marty Walker, and this is part of a two-part episode. This week, she's going to share her amazing story, as well as play some sacred music. Next week, on the show with Chef Be Live, who's also here with us in the studio today. And Chef is going to be providing some wonderful early lunch snacks for us. And next week's show, he's going to tell us all about his incredible story as one of the world's greatest raw food chefs. So let's just go ahead and kick it off like we like to do. Here are two wonderful back-to-back cuts with Marty Walker live. Enjoy.
May all these Sama stars, you know, bye bye.
Wow, that was amazing. Those two songs, they really touched my heart, Marty. Thank you so much. That was just beautiful.
Thank you, Greg. It's my pleasure.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here and happy to be sharing music with you and with listeners.
Well, I have to tell you, we, as you know, do quite a few of these musical kind of shows. It's so beautiful to be in the same room with you and be able to experience this with you. It's very, very moving and touching songs. Could you tell us what we just listened to?
Yes, I can. We just listened to Loka and Om Namah Shiva.
Well, those are just beautiful songs. Can you tell us real briefly what is the message of those? Very, very inspiring music.
Sure. Well, the message of Loka is it's a Sanskrit mantra, and it basically means, in a nutshell, may all beings everywhere, from all the lokas, all the spheres of consciousness, may they all be happy and free. So
May
it's a
they all be
beautiful,
happy and
beautiful
free.
message. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And Om Namah Shiva is, well, you'll often hear Om Namah Shivaya, which is a chant to Lord Shiva. And Shiva has a lot to do with transformation. And, you know, in the Hindu, the Trinity, you have Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. And so Shiva is known as the destroyer, that which cuts away, that which is unnecessary. So a lot of times we're going through change in life. That's kind of the Shiva principle, as things are just kind of falling away.
Wow, that is really beautiful. And we're going to get more into that spiritual aspect of your music. But I know in this music I hear a lot of really beautiful keyboards. And am I also hearing a tabla?
Yes. Yeah, I brought a tabla player with me today, which I'm really happy. It's really the first time that we have collaborated. His name is Cooper Madison, and
He's here with us today.
he is here.
Hey everyone.
Cooper, don't be modest. How long you been playing? That was some really great stuff.
Thank you. I've been to India 10 times and it started around 1994. So,
Wow, 10 times to India. Have to be honest, haven't been there yet. Definitely on my must-have list, I will tell you that. Well, thank you for being on. That was just beautiful. Now, just so everyone knows, we're going to now talk about, some of the beautiful, inspiring stories. They're going to come back on at the end of the show, and they're going to play a song that will just blow you away. Very, very inspiring. So, Marty, getting back to you and your music, what is your path? What's inspired you to take this beautiful musical path that you're on?
Well, I guess as we do anything in life, it's kind of hard to pinpoint one specific thing, but I guess it's just been a series of events. Ever since I was a kid, I grew up a musician, but I always had kind of a longing for something deeper and something more. And it led me to yoga and meditation, and it really helped to clarify a lot of things for me. And I actually left music for a while. I grew up in all different types of bands and jazz bands and concert bands, and I left music because it just was not fulfilling for me. I wasn't quite getting it until I started studying sound healing and learning how the voice can be used. And I wasn't even a singer, actually, until a little bit later on in life. I played flute and sax and piano. And so once I started doing yoga and studying sound healing, I really rediscovered my relationship with music and the ability to really heal and really touch people in a very, very deep way. And so I just started very simply. I tried to throw away all of what I had learned in all of my my jazz courses and about what to play and what not to play and what works and what doesn't work and all the theory, and I just started playing from my heart, really from my heart. And it was very cathartic, emotional experience. And that brought me to music again in a new way. And then I started incorporating mantra into it and learning a little bit about yoga and mantra and the power of mantra as well.
So for our listeners, what is mantra?
Mantra is a Sanskrit word. It's a tool for the mind. And it's a way to kind of still the mind and focus the mind on one particular thing. So when we use the term pretty loosely, say, this is my mantra, or this is my mantra for the day or for the year. And
I always find for myself in yoga, when they say Om Shanti, the word Om just has this really beautiful power to it.
It's deep, isn't it?
Yes.
It's deep. Yeah, I mean, some say that it's the sound of creation. It's the sound that all that ever was and ever will be. And it's also the uniting of the masculine and feminine, and the Om, or the A-U-M, Om. They say that all sound is contained within the Om. So imagine when you chant that, you, by a process of what's called sympathetic resonance, when you're vibrating at this Om, it's like your entire body takes on this, the vibration of the Om, so you actually become the Om. I do know that it fulfills me the way that nothing else has. Really, it takes me to a deeper understanding of myself, and what I do want to do is offer that to others as a potential path or a potential tool. To say, if you're as simple as if you're having a rough day and you want to chant Om Shanti, which Shanti is peace. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, just as a way to, release whatever it is that's constricting you.
I want to take you back to the story because I found it a little bit interesting. So when I watch you live, and I've seen you several times, you really just kind of take on the music. So going back, now you're from the East Coast in Pennsylvania,
yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you grew up in a musical background, sounds like lots of musical inspirations, and then there was a period where you leave music and kind of rediscover yourself and then bring that back to the music. Is that kind of accurate?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I know one day I had done so much practicing. I would practice for hours and hours in my room and in my, practice room, and I was getting really good. I was really a fabulous flute player. Flute was my instrument at the time. I was a flute major. And all of a sudden I went to play one day and I just started crying. Very strange experience. I'm not used to this experience. What is going on? I was like 22. And I just thought, I can't do this anymore. I can't. This is just does not feel right anymore. And I think it had to do with a lot of things of maybe being focused on, I didn't think I was ready to perform, and I didn't know, I wasn't connected with the heart, really the heart of music. I was learning scales and techniques and etudes and, classes on how to get the gig. And all of that was just, it just
the analytical side, right?
Yeah. Kind of it didn't really deal with just really being in the space of really feeling. So
what was the event that transformed you and got you into your heart and to be able to create this just beautiful music?
It was a process. First of all, I believe that music is part of me, and it always will be. And I've left it and put it on the back burner at different times in my life. Right now I'm embracing it very fully. It feels really good. I started incorporating it back into my life, playing different types of music. I moved to Spain and started playing with music from musicians from Spain and South America. And that kind of rocked my world. It was just all this new stimulation and new music and a new way of relating to music. So that was very inspiring. So that kind of got me back into it. And then moving back to the States and then getting into yoga and learning about music from India. So it was all just kind of new stimulation. And I think it was my angels just saying, hold on, you're going to find something amazing here. We've just got to get you back in.
So would you say, and I want to make sure I heard you clearly, that you went overseas to Spain, is that right?
I did, yes.
Was that kind of your metamorphosis, would you say?
It was a really important time in my life. A lot of changes. I went through a lot of transitions at the time personally. But it really did help shake things up. Sometimes we need a big change in our life. We don't always know what that is, and we don't even know that we need it. Suddenly a huge change happens, and then, we're just somewhere completely different. It's just like, things get shaken up. And by me moving over there, my life was completely different. The people around me, everything was different. The language was different. So I think it really just was exactly what I needed to kind of kickstart and get me, kind of wrestle me loose from the things that had been holding me in place and in a place of fear, really, actually.
Tell us more about the new CD, Revolution.
Well, the new CD is, I started recording the songs on this CD over 4 years ago, which I didn't realize till I started going back through some of my records, my financial records, actually. And, it took a long time for it to come to light, but I believe it was perfect timing. And initially I had a different name for the CD, and then I realized that I initially was calling it The Gift, which it really was a gift. I had a few songs that I wrote and recorded, and I thought this is such a gift in my life. And then as I, evolved and the music evolved and the project was evolving, I really thought of it more as an evolution or a revolution. in my own life. And so that's why I called it Revolution. You know, as you hear the different tracks, it goes from kind of very introspective, soft, very heartfelt moments to just kind of all out funky dance grooves. You know, it just really covers the spectrum.
And I want to share with the listeners that this is actually part of a 2-part episode. So what we're hearing this week is kind of these beautiful sacred songs, and you're kind of hearing the beautiful inspirational stories. On next week's show, you're going to get to hear some really upbeat songs that kind of take you to a different place. Woohoo! And ties into some, beautiful theme that we've got next week relating to how to take ourselves to the next level from an eating perspective. And we'll talk more about that after our break. How about that, huh? So it's so great to have you here today. And
thank you, Greg. Thank you.
And I've heard you play a few times, and some of the earlier stuff that you did was a little bit more contemporary. And can you just share with the listeners a little bit more about your musical catalog and maybe where they can find this beautiful music?
Sure. Yeah, well, this is my second CD release. The first one is more of a Latin jazz, contemporary Latin jazz collection of songs, all original and in Spanish and English. That was really, I was experimenting a lot more with my roots of jazz, and then of course the Latin music that I was introduced to when I moved to Spain. So that was kind of working its way through me. So I have that CD, which is just a self-titled Marty Walker. And then of course the sacred chant music. And you can find the music, you can listen to audio samples, and you can also download at martywalkermusic.com.
Wow, that's beautiful. From my perspective, after listening to it, I got to tell you, I hear a lot of Sarah McLachlan in your voice.
Thank you.
Next week, you'll want to hear, she really brings kind of a Lady Gaga influence in some of these songs.
Wow, that's a compliment. Thank you.
That's really true. I love music, and most of the listeners know that we do a lot of these kind of shows that kind of blend the message and bring that home to us. In the songs we're hearing today, I hear a really meditative quality. Mm-hmm. And I hear songs that the listeners could download and play in the background as they're doing some meditation. Was that intentional, or do you think that was just coming from a different place and just got inspired that way? How would you say the meditative quality of some of these songs came about?
I think that it was just what wanted to be expressed. I didn't set out to say, okay, I'm going to have 3 songs that are slow, introspective songs and then a couple dance songs, but it just kind of how it all worked out. And, it's all part of the spectrum, and it's part of the human experience that we need to express and feel the inner qualities, as well as just having fun and dancing. Yes.
And I hear that in your music, even though I definitely hear that the Indian and the Hindu influences. This is really universal stuff that anybody of any faith could put this on and listen to and be equally inspired.
I think so. I mean, I have, some relatives who, if I really sat down and talked to them about this, they probably would think I was crazy. But they put the music on. Like my aunt said, I clean the house to it, and I do the dishes, and I cook, and it's very inspiring. So you don't even necessarily have to know what it means or what the songs mean. But I think that the essence of it still comes through regardless.
Beautiful. So Marty, we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about your visit to Spain and how I hear some of those influences in your music.
Wonderful.
I'm Gregory Foster, and you're listening to Access Zen.
And now, let's return to Access Zen.
Okay, and we're back. Well, I have to say, before we get back into this wonderful show with Marty, that we have some incredible food that's been brought into the studio. Is that just the most delicious stuff?
Seriously, it was amazing.
So we've had, and Chef Be Live, a.k.a. Brian Lucas, knows how I reverse that, because that's kind of how we see you, is actually going to be our guest on next week's show that we're pairing also with Marty's music. He was kind enough to come in today and share some of this delicious food with us. So what have we just eaten? This was amazing stuff. You said it was avocado with a mango bread?
Well, yes. The sandwich that you just ate, it had a mango, sesame, flax, almond bread.
Yeah.
With a sweet mustard on one side, a garlic aioli on the other, and then the fillings were, it was really quite cool because I was able to find an orange tomato and of both vine ripe and a red tomato. So it was a slice of each with some avocado and some shiitake mushrooms that had been marinated with a big slapped in a piece of red leaf lettuce. So
Wow. Well, I have to tell you, you are a organic, raw food chef, right?
that is true.
And I have to tell you, and we'll talk about this on next week's show, but obviously some of us have perceptions about food. If you were blindfolded, listeners, and you heard this and you tasted this food, it would absolutely just melt in your mouth. It's so delicious. Am I right, Marty?
Oh, it was fabulous. And the other dish, the noodle dish?
The noodles were incredible. And it's really healthy for us, and we'll get into that next week. So thank you for joining us. I really appreciate that.
I'm just glad you guys liked it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great stuff. Thank you. So, Marty, where we left off after the break, or before the break, we were talking about, when I hear your music, I really hear this international and world beat flavor, and then I'm linking it with, you grew up in Pennsylvania, and I want to get into a little bit more of that story, and a lot of musical background, but something told you to put this on hold. You went and did this incredible adventure, and I'm hearing that in your music. Is that accurate?
Probably. I guess I haven't thought about it just because it's happening within me, real time. So, yeah, I guess, and what I've sung here today is not necessarily like in the Latin jazz vibe.
Right, but some of the stuff we'll play next week, they'll definitely hear some of that.
Yeah, they'll hear it there. Yeah, it's definitely, it's all, I'm like a sponge, and I'm so grateful in this way that when it comes to music, I just hear something and I just like absorb it, and then it like kind of comes through. So it's like everything, like on some websites, they'll say, especially like when I had my MySpace account, it would say, what are your musical influences?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, my influence is everything that I've ever heard, ever in my life, because it just comes through and informs and, helps create what comes out. So I really don't know where it comes from, but I'm sure it does come from a lot of my jazz background, and then also time that I spent in Spain. And then the Indian stuff is just from Indian music that I've been exposed to in recent years. This could be an opportunity for a plug, perhaps, unplanned. Yes. I will be leading kirtan with a gentleman who leads tours to India, and he goes to sacred sites and does Ayurvedic. He will have an Ayurvedic spa experience, and it's for either 2 or 3 weeks, depending on your availability. But I will be going in November, leading kirtan, and I'm very excited. It's absolutely the perfect time in my life.
So, Marty, for our listeners,
Yes.
What is kirtan?
So kirtan, it's actually called the Sankirtana movement, and we shortened it to kirtan, which is a form of call and response devotional music sung in Sanskrit and from India.
So there's a Sanskrit, it's musical. How would you describe some of the sounds?
That a lot of the kirtan that we hear today in modern day USA and around the world, the instrumentation can be anything. Like you heard me playing keyboard. I play keyboard. That's not traditional. Bass, guitar, electric guitar, saxophone, ukulele. I have a friend who does, ukulele kirtan. Anything is possible. Any instrument, although it's not entirely traditional, but certainly we're adapting it and bringing it into the West and kind of westernizing it, which, by the way, a lot of Indian people really appreciate. Which I kind of thought that it would be otherwise since it wasn't traditional, but a lot of them are really open to what we bring to it. So what can one experience as a listener who comes to a kirtan? I think it could be a number of things. One thing is just, for a lot of people, it's just sitting still and listening.
Letting go of their mind.
Letting go of their mind. Hopefully, the listener will become an active participant and will sing, because the idea of kirtan is that it's not a concert, quote unquote concert, but that it's a kirtan, so it is participatory. So you sing as well, right? Call and response. So the lead singer will, call Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, and then you go Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. So everyone sings together, and as you sing, your vibration raises. So perhaps you can experience a lighter sense of being, and also even just forgetting about your problems for a little while, going in there and feeling inspired, up to feeling completely like you've skyrocketed through the stratosphere and you're in some completely different place of beingness and expansion. Any number of those experiences, so just feeling elated and happy. Or sometimes it may bring things up. It might bring up some of what we would call, negative emotions or things.
Whatever's going on in your space.
Whatever's going on, yeah.
And you give
Yeah.
you a chance to maybe release some of that, right?
Exactly, yes.
And that's what I feel in your music. There's this quality to it. I don't know if you know that or not.
No.
I make this assumption sometimes, I have to tell you. And sometimes I meet the musicians and they don't realize their music has that influence on their fans. So thank you for that.
Not at all. And thank you for that. That's really my intention and my hope. So thank you. That really means a lot to me, Greg. Thanks.
Yeah, sincerely. It's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I want to ask you a question. So growing up in Pennsylvania, if we dropped in on Marty listening to music, the contemporary music of the day,
Oh, what I was listening to?
what would be on your turntable?
Oh, don't know. Okay, I have to tell the truth.
And it's okay. There's
Yeah,
no
but
judgment.
you know what? That's going to date me, too, if I tell you what I was listening to.
It won't date you, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, well, I was listening to Led Zeppelin. So let me just say
Excellent.
that because I'm really proud of that.
Yes.
Um,
Me too.
I might have heard some John Denver
Nice.
with the Led
The
Zeppelin.
Rocky Mountain High?
Yes, yeah.
That's an acoustic, beautiful singing
Little
and
Captain
performing.
and Tennille. Oh, those were in the younger years, though. Night Ranger, Bryan Adams.
Oh, the 80s.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, but also I listened to a lot of jazz because my dad was a musician as well. So we did have a lot of jazz in the house and Irish music too. The Irish Rovers.
So see, there's
Yeah.
all those eclectic influences, and I think that's what's coming out in your music. And you may not realize it consciously, Marty, but it's there. You've got some beautiful stuff interwoven, and now I see where it came from, and I'm sure the listeners are getting that too.
Yay!
Getting a taste. So we're going to close in a few moments with a very beautiful song.
Thank you.
And I don't want to steal your thunder. I'll let you introduce it when we get to that place. I don't want to bring it back. So, you know me, I like to go out and I like to really know the artist before they come out and visit with me. So I was out on your Facebook page and I saw a quote there that kind of ties us back to the spiritual theme. And forgive me if I don't say this exactly right, but you should get the essence of it. I think you say something to the effect of, this is just your perspectives, we're all human beings having a spiritual experience.
Yes.
And there's a couple different ways you can say that, but
Yeah, and we are human beings having a spiritual experience. In fact, I wrote something just the other day, and that's on my quotes page, which I probably wrote when I first opened my account, and they ask you what some of your maybe favorite quotes are, or I don't know. But I posted something recently that really related to that, which is, who knew that being human could be so spiritual?
and so let's take it the other way, because the other way really fits when you put it in the context of what you just said, and that's really beautiful. Let's say it another way. We're all spiritual beings, having a human experience.
And we totally are. I think they're both so true, and they're both really almost like the yin and yang of it.
Yeah.
And they're very intertwined. We are spiritual beings. We do come from spirit, I believe. And we all have that somehow
essence in
a
us.
connection, that essence, that longing for something more, that just the things that cannot be described that go beyond the five senses. Spiritual beings having a human experience. Obviously, we're here in this body, in this form. We obviously are having a human experience. And we are also human beings having a spiritual experience. We have the opportunity to be aware of spiritual experiences and on our spiritual connection every day, even through that amazing food that Chef Be Live made us. I mean, I don't know. I'm spirit. I'm human. I don't know what I am, but I'm just in bliss eating that. That's like where the two really come together.
I have to say, normally after we have a big meal like that, I start to feel really kind of heavy and tired, but I'm feeling more energy.
I'm so excited. I'm going to be bouncing off the walls pretty soon.
I don't know. I'm giving him a commercial, but let's not go there yet. So staying in tune with this, and I just want to share this with you, is it's so beautiful and refreshing to have you on the show and sharing the Hindu-Indian perspective because, and again, this is just me talking here, but I kind of look at the power trio of the three most influential, we'll call them high beings. Christ, which represents Christianity, and Christ, certainly a very powerful and beautiful moving mission. Buddha, from the Buddha religion, and I'm talking really the essence of who Buddha was, balancing your life, which is kind of the theme of this show. And now Krishna, another really beautiful, powerful spiritual being who was on this planet. Do you want to share just a little bit, from your heart, what he means to you?
Oh,
what
my
that
gosh. Okay. I'm going to say something that may be a little bit controversial.
That's okay.
As you were saying the names, my grin was growing and growing across my
I
face.
saw that.
There are those who believe that Christ, Buddha, and Krishna were all the same, that they're all incarnations of Krishna, of Vishnu. And so that it was really interesting that you
There's
named
a lot of
those
similarities for
three.
sure.
There are a lot of
Their
similarities.
missions and their messages,
Mhm.
right? I hear you.
Because we have Christ consciousness in the Christian community. We have Krishna consciousness. And look at Krishna, Christ. I mean, they're so very similar.
Very, very
and of course,
beautiful.
there are those who believe that Christ went to India when he disappeared for the missing years, that
Yes.
he went to India and, went back and taught much of what he learned there. For me, I've actually had a really big opening in the area of Krishna consciousness in my own life personally. And I've considered myself, I don't know, beyond or above, I don't want to say above, but beyond just honoring or relating to or praying to one particular god or deity. But I've had some really intense personal spiritual experiences lately with Krishna and in the Krishna community that just go beyond what I can explain. And so my relationship with Krishna is that he is just the beloved.
Yes.
He is the lover. He is beauty. He's just magnificence impersonated. And when I sing, I just know that that's exactly where my heart is, and that Krishna is my heart.
Well, that is really beautiful. And Marty, we are almost out of time.
Okay.
We're probably going to have you back to more explain that to our listeners, explain that to our folks. That was really deep and powerful. And I will say, in alignment, I know it sounds a little unusual, maybe for someone who's hearing that, maybe coming from a more traditional Christian perspective, but if you scale it back, all of us come from the same source.
It do, and it's love. It sounds so trite, doesn't it? But it's just, it really is love, not in the human love that we have for one another, but in the largest sense of the word. And it's all whatever makes your heart sing. I mean, that is what God is in the divine. And whether you say Krishna, whether you say Christ, whether you say Buddha or Allah.
So it takes you to that higher consciousness to be balanced and peaceful in your life, right?
Amen, brother.
All right, well, we're going to close with a very fitting song. Before we play this last song, please share with the listeners again how we find your music and see your shows.
Sure, you can visit my website, which is Marty, M-A-R-T-I, walkermusic.com. You can also visit Rasalila, R-A-S-A-L-I-L-A, Rasalila Music. That's the name of my sacred music project, actually. And the name that's on the CD, you'll see Marty Walker /Rasalila. Rasalila is the name for my for the sacred music. So either way, I'd be blessed to have you visit and come, leave a message on my guest book or send me an email if you visit.
And I know you do a lot of musical projects. I know that you also go out to prisons, and I'm part of the Freedom to Choose project. I go out to Women's Project, and we do special healing sessions with them, so we have a lot of kinship. So Marty, where can we see you play live? Where can our listeners see you play live in Southern California and around the country?
Well, actually, I have coming up. I'm going to be opening up at Bhakti Fest. Bhakti Fest is a big kirtan, sacred music, and yoga festival in Joshua Tree. It's September 8th through 11th, and I'm actually going to be kicking off Bhakti Fest at 10 o'clock a.m. on Thursday, the 8th, on Main Stage. So if you want the full Bhakti Fest experience, come Thursday morning or even Wednesday. MC Yogi is going to be doing a full day retreat there. So I've got Bhakti Fest and a few other things, but probably the best thing to do is just to check my website to see when I'm going to be in your area. And I do travel around, mostly right now, SoCal, Northern California, Oregon, kind of Arizona area. And again, my website is martywalkermusic.com. And thank you for asking, Greg.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Greg. It's been a wonderful opportunity. I'm very, very appreciative. Thank you.
Beautiful music. So we're going to close, listeners, with this music. We'll see you next week with more music from Marty and Chef Be Live. Make it a wonderful week. Here's
Hare Krishna.
depths of darkness. So till you offered me your hand. Oh, I know you dwell